Welcome to the Cathedral of Shadows, where demons gather.
So many ways to live by, whether the one to get by, depends on what you choose now. What would I blow? Music came to upload, and I had a little talk of destiny, that's all. But nothing ever moves accordingly. Handled it well, the conduct's disorderly. Never made it to varsity, but most importantly, good prevail. Grab hearts and majority. Let's let the summer breeze talk to us, go with the flow, let's keep on riding. Never looking forward or back, only looking upward when stars are shining. Even when I'm lost in the course, you'll show me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cathedral of Shadows, a Megami podcast. I am Rasen,
I'm Katsu.
and oh my god, there's still news.
I know. It'll never end.
People said November was like the month of all the news and great Persona stuff going on and all that. February has been great. I think this might be the most Megami Tensei news we've ever gotten, ever, in such a
Ever.
in such a short amount of time. It's crazy.
It's insane.
I
It's
know.
nuts. It's not just Persona stuff, too.
Oh, we'll get to that. So, first thing I want to say is Imagine died. Last night it died. It's gone forever. There's actually, on our MegaTen, I saw something. People were using the little, like, trade shop thingy on there. I'm not entirely sure how it works. To say their goodbye messages, and it's actually kind of sad. Because as much as the game is
Aw.
shit, there was a community around that game that supported it over the 6 years it was active. And it's kind of sad seeing that taken away from those people. So I'm going to link to that below.
Well, they can play the Japanese, imagine, with the JP players.
Yep.
Yep.
They can move there. Hopefully they find luck there. I did jump on Imagine for one final time, and then I said, wow, this walk speed is awful, and this battle system is crap. So yeah, I stood on for maybe 3 hours, and then I'm like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Like physically, this is terrible. So yeah, bye Imagine. R.I.P. in peace.
Yes, rest in peace.
But I guess we should go into some news. So we did unfortunately miss our Persona Q trailer of the week segment last week because we recorded Thursday and all the Persona Q trailers come out Friday. Actually, strangely enough, we're recording this Friday and no Persona Q trailers came out this week. So maybe that's done. Maybe we can stop doing that segment.
Yay.
Or maybe they're just
I
late.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Or maybe next week is just going to be some huge revelation that none of us expect.
They needed a week off to prepare, maybe. But we did get two huge Persona Q trailers the day after we recorded last episode. And oh my god, they were big. It was like 3 minutes per trailer. One was for the Persona 3 side, one was for the Persona 4 side. A lot of stuff happened in them. And actually it looks
Yeah.
like the people, the characters becoming miniature versions of themselves is actually
A
part of-
thing.
Yep. They have these little bottles that they drink and they become tiny.
Personas in Wonderland.
Yeah, it's weird. I find it so weird we've had so much trailer focus on that part of the plot. It's like, oh no, everyone's tiny. I don't know, it's just
That's the entire plot of the game. Figure out why everyone becomes so tiny.
I would die. That would be the best, but also the worst thing simultaneously. Then we got some more news though with limited edition stuff.
Yes.
Oh, man, the limited edition. This is Japanese only. I should throw it out there. The limited edition for Persona Q seems to come with a bunch of stuff like posters, a little papercraft version of
Posters.
Ray. I think like a mug or something.
Yeah, goddamn coffee mug.
Comes with everything. Comes with a new car, a house,
Well, like,
life insurance.
yeah. And I know the Tales games, like, well, the recent Tales game that come out, you can get a limited edition pack, which comes with, like, a complete tea set. So
What the fuck?
it's not beyond a. Yeah, you can get a tea set with.
That's crazy.
I think Tales of Exilia had one. Yeah, pretty
Um,
cool though. Sadly, I didn't get it.
Well, I guess it looks like we had one more Persona Q bundle edition thing to talk about. There's a Persona Q 3DS bundle, so you can get a Persona Q 3DS if you're in Japan. That looks
Yes.
pretty cool. If you don't have a 3DS if you don't have a Japanese region 3DS and you want one, you can consider getting the 3DS Persona Q bundle. So yeah,
Which will cost you like $600.
probably that's probably gonna be expensive. Um, that's about it for Persona Q news. It was kind of it was so weird though. It was kind of overwhelming because it was literally a situation where the Persona Q trailers came out a few hours later. It's like, hey, there's a limited edition, and then like an hour after that, they're like, hey, there's a 3DS bundle too, and it's like, why are you announcing all this in one day? It's too much. Actually, I guess you could say that's kind of how the entire month has been.
Yeah.
The entire month of February, all we've talked about is news, which I love, but
News, 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 and news.
it's very hard to keep track of, though. I will say that.
Yes.
What else happened?
Mm, I don't know.
Oh, well, here's something. The Persona Stalker Club started up.
Oh, those guys.
So this is
Those.
hilarious. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the Persona Stalker Club is, it's basically a stream. It's kind of like a podcast, kind of like a talk show thing that's made by Atlas, and I think it has two like Japanese celebrities running it, and they just talk
Yeah.
about Persona news and like pretty much just to hype up the new games coming out. So the first
Yeah.
episode launched. Now this is where I think this is a funny coincidence. Um, the first part of the show is devoted to talking about news or Persona stuff, and the second part of the show, or at least a segment of the show that's later on, is about answering listener questions.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, I wonder. No, I mean that's a fairly standard layout, but I just thought it was hilarious. I'm like, shit, Atlas took our idea but made it official. We'll never survive now. Yeah, so
We'll never survive now. Might
I
as well
just
pack it up.
yeah, we're done. Everyone just go listen to Persona Stalker Club. Atlas, please. No, I just thought that was funny. I'm like, oh shit, Cathedral of Shadows, but not Cathedral of Shadows. And to be completely honest, there's no fucking way that Atlas Japan was like, oh, I really like what this random podcast did. Let's steal their idea. That's not the
Yeah.
case. We're not trying to say that's the case. It's just a funny coincidence. So, actually, the first episode of that launched recently, and they didn't really talk about much. They just kind of debriefed on the Persona Q trailers
Mhm.
and made fun of the English lyrics of Persona songs. It seems like.
Ah,
Well, you know what's
not bad.
something. You know what's something I think is hilarious is because of the English, not even the Japanese can understand what's being said in the songs, but the English players can't because the English is wrong.
Yeah.
So no one can understand Persona songs. It's a universal thing. Um, I think that's hilarious. So
Connecting werewolves.
yeah, something tells me that the Persona Stalker Club is going to be like the Nintendo Direct version of
Please. I
Atlas's
hope
stuff.
not. I hope not. I hope it's just a thing until those games comes out, and then yeah,
Well,
that's it.
yeah, I think it will be, but I mean, I think what they're trying to do is kind of emulate the Nintendo Direct style.
Yeah.
Actually, we've seen companies kind of do that with a lot of stuff now, where they have these little online stream program stuff to announce their stuff. I don't really, you just see it more often. I'll say that
Yeah.
it's definitely something where I think a lot of companies want to get information out directly to people instead of having to rely on journalists.
Yeah.
So that's been something that's happening. And Atlas has picked up on that, so good on them. Hopefully the future episodes are a little more detailed and in depth because we didn't get much information from the first one. They basically said, "Hey, this is a thing. This is what we do." So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of information coming from those programs though, so that'll be fun and exciting. Oh man, and this is where the news got intense. So there is a few days ago, I'll say that, um, and I don't know the exact date, but I want to say it was like the 24th. Amanda Wynn Lee on her Facebook fan page posted a very interesting tweet that pretty much said something like, I had another Persona recording session today. I'm exhausted."
Yeah.
Now, at the time, there was no Persona localization anything announced.
News.
Yeah,
Nothing.
so that's like, what Persona
Hmm.
recording session?
This sounds pretty suspect.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a little that's some interesting news.
Interesting.
Yeah, so immediately what I was thinking was either this is Persona Q or Suplex.
Yeah.
Because,
But then she mentioned another, meaning that she already did one beforehand.
yeah, that's true. So that was a little suspicious. So at that point, everyone's like, "Oh God, that means we're gonna get one of the Persona games coming out soon. We don't know which one, but that's pretty much confirmation that Persona something's coming out."
At the
Uh,
end of her today.
yeah, and then and then less than 24 hours later, all four of the
Damn.
Persona games being made
Yeah.
announced for being
So
localized.
it seems like Amanda Winley was talking about Suplex and Q when she met another session. So it seems like Suplex and Q are being dubbed back to back just to cover their bases.
That
But
makes
who knows? They
sense.
might be recording. They might be recording all three at the same time. Suplex, Q, and Dance.
I don't know
But
because, well, here's what I think they're doing. I think they're doing Q and Suplex first because those are
yeah,
announced for a fall 2014 release. We're getting those first. I think Dancing All Night is going to be later in the summer probably. And
they
then,
said 2015, I believe.
oh no, I meant recording. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
recording.
yeah. Recording would probably be later this summer along with five. Those will probably be back to back, except they'll probably have
Different teams.
different teams, probably different casting. There might be some overlap, but not as much
Yeah.
as something like Q and Suplex, where it's literally the same characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably something to do with Q and Suplex. So yeah, we got all the localization news that I guess Persona fans ever wanted, ever. So
Yes.
I thought it was really interesting that they dumped them all at once. Like they just flat out said, "You're getting all of these."
Well, if you're getting one, you're getting them all.
Uh, I don't know. I was kind of iffy if Dancing All Night would come over here because
But it does have it has the Persona brand on it.
that's true. But it's like I don't know because rhythm games or like those I don't even know what the proper those idle sim games that whatever you want to call them they don't.
What, Idol Master games?
Yeah, like those sell really well, but I'm like I don't know if there's enough crossover with like Persona and those fan bases to like sell enough. But I guess thinking about it more, yeah, there's probably a lot of crossover there. So I was kind of iffy if we'd ever get that one, but no, it looks like we're getting all of them.
Yeah.
Did you?
So it.
Oh, carry on.
Oh,
Carry
no, no,
on.
no. You go. You go. You
Fine.
go.
No, no, you go. No, okay, fine, I'll go. Did you actually watch the trailers, or did you just say, "Oh, did you just see the news"?
I watched the Suplex 5 and Q trailer. I didn't really care about the dancing trailer.
Oh, well, the dancing trailer, if I recall correctly, was literally the same trailer, but instead
Yeah.
it just said, "Hey, we're getting in America." So they
Yeah, like the Suplex trailer was the exact same thing as the Japan one, except there was no voice acting.
that was the
And,
same for Q.
and it was, yeah, they were all the same except no voice acting and translated text.
And also they fixed the "You Are Slave."
Yeah. They fixed the English.
Yeah, they fixed the English for Persona 5, but I thought it was funny because they like it's so funny because Atlas USA, I feel like they're at a point where there's like we want to announce that these games are coming out, and it's like we can kind of half-ass the trailers. Like the news is good enough. These guys know.
These guys know.
Yeah,
It's like Atlas was watching their Persona announcements. They know.
yeah.
They know they're bringing them over. So it's like, yeah.
Well, I just thought it's funny because like
So
the trailers
what I
are
was gonna say is,
okay. Go ahead.
oh, what I was gonna say is, it's interesting how Suplex is coming out in the fall here, but it's coming out in the summer in Japan, which leads me to believe there probably isn't going to be any region locking.
I hope not.
Because I hope not either. It seems like they're just going to go with English text and the localization and dual audio. And for Japan, just Japan text and dual audio. It's kind of like how with Blaze Blue, to avoid the whole blow up that happened before because they wanted to release the games around the same time and they cut a lot of costs and all that stuff. But yeah.
So yeah,
So Europeans don't have to wait 18 months for another
hopefully
for
not.
for the European version. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't work at Atlas. They might just region lock it again.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring up the trailers because it's so funny. Like they're so low effort. There's just like let's just take out the voice acting, leave the base video, but they're effective. Everyone got hyped, so the trailers did their
Yeah.
job. I just thought it was funny how it's like you guys didn't really change it up that much, but yeah, I'm definitely hyped. I didn't think they would announce all of them at once, like I said, but I'm so glad that they did because it's fucking Persona. I'm hyped.
Yeah, that's Persona.
hmm So stay tuned for more information on that. We don't have any actual.
Please be excited.
Yes, please be excited. Persona Q with the theme of good feelings. No, um,
Yes.
I'm just, I'm just so hyped to actually get release dates because I kind of want to figure out what I can spend money on. Actually, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the JoJo Bizarre Adventure fighting game anymore because my headset broke and I need to buy a new one. So there goes my JoJo money, sadly.
Oh.
I'll download it later this year when I have more money and can spend $50 on a fighting game featuring JoJo from the JoJo Bizarre Adventure series. Had to make that joke. But yeah, I kind of hope we get more concrete release dates soon because all we have now is Q and Suplex in fall, 5 and Dancing All Night in 2015.
2015. Yeah.
There's no actual set day. It's just the time schedule scheme. So
The time frame.
yeah, the time frame. That's the word I was looking for. um, so yeah, hopefully that all goes well, and please be excited. So
Yes.
the localization excitement didn't end there. And well, to be honest, when the Persona localization stuff happened, it was exciting, but I'll say this, the excitement kind of died down fast because we
If
kind of
it died down faster than normal.
because we already kind of knew, let's be serious here. I think
Yeah. Let's be serious. We knew.
yeah, cuz we didn't get any new information except for the fact that it is coming over out west and I, pretty much people already expected that. It was just a matter of time before they said, "Yeah, we're getting these." So this news kind of lasted a little longer though, from the Megami Tensei
Yeah.
community.
This came out of freaking nowhere.
Well, that's why I think this stayed and resonated so well. No
Yeah.
one saw this coming.
Out of freaking left field, out of orbit.
And if you don't know what we're talking about Shin Megami Tensei 1 being localized for
Localized.
iOS.
I know.
What the
Oh
fuck?
my freaking god.
No, it was funny though because oh man, so this is how I learned about it. So I was out of class and I was in the parking lot. I was waiting for my car to warm up because there's like frost on it. So I'm just inside my car freezing my ass off. I'm like, whatever, let's check Twitter. And I see Ninten, he's a mod on DDSnet, and he tweeted me saying, "Yo, did you see the news?" And it was in all caps. I'm like, "Oh, is it more like Persona localization stuff? Like, what's going on?" And then he goes, "SMT I iOS coming out west," and I'm like, "What?" There's no fucking way. You're pulling my leg. And then I look throughout Twitter and I'm like, holy shit, they have a trailer and everything? Like, what the fuck? So I speed home and it's like, holy shit, SMT1's coming out to iOS.
I think I was at GameStop when the news dropped. I was there pre-ordering Final Fantasy X HD, and I was on my way back, and I checked my phone at the Starbucks, went on Twitter, and then saw the announcements. I was like, "Holy shit!
Then
No
you threw
way!"
your coffee out the window and went, fuck yeah, SMT1.
Yes.
Actually, it's kind of funny that you're getting coffee because in SMT1 at the start of the game, your mom's like, hey, go get some coffee.
Go get some coffee.
Katsu, you're going to be forced to kill all of your friends one day soon. You don't know it yet, but one day demons will invade.
Well, it's gonna suck because I don't have an iPhone.
Yeah. So you don't do you not have any iOS device to play this on then?
Nope.
All right. See, that's been an issue a lot of people are having. I personally, I had an iPod Touch because I got one on sale a long time ago. Oh man, I don't even know like this was when third generation iPod Touches were new. There was a sale and I got it. But then also I got an iPhone through work and I think if I'm gonna keep my contract going even if I leave my current job. So that I don't know. I'm pretty hyped for it, but it's because I have an iOS device. Do you have an Android device by any chance? Is that what you're?
Yes, I have an Android. Like, I'm waiting for them to announce the eventual Android port, or if they are even going to release the Android port. They probably aren't. So it seems like a really risky localization.
Well, what I think is going to happen is I think they're testing the waters with iOS. I don't know why they wouldn't release the Android version because I've said this before, mobile development is fairly cheap, but I
Yeah.
think even then this is kind of a gamble that they're taking. So I hope that eventually the Android version will come out later. Some people have been saying that what they might do is emulate what happened in Japan because, well, first of all, I should mention this game isn't being made as we speak. This game came out 2 years ago on iOS, and then 6 months later it came out on the Google Play Store. So people are thinking they might do that, where it comes out on iOS first, then a few months down the line they have an Android release. I think that'll probably happen. Hopefully that happens. I think a few of the
Hopefully.
I think I saw a few of the Atlas guys on Twitter saying like it's not out of the realm of possibility. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully that because I mean honestly it is kind of a bummer for it to just be restricted to iOS because a lot of people are
Yeah.
on Android. A lot of SMT fans especially are on Android.
I'm on Android.
There we go. Honestly, if I already hadn't, this is gonna sound weird, but considering the fact that I have spent so much on like so much stuff on iTunes in terms of apps and some music and stuff, I feel like I can't get an Android anymore because else I'll be throwing out that money because I won't be able to have those apps again. But I would probably go Android if I didn't have that restriction already, simply because I do like the OS for Android better than iOS because iOS with every update gets shittier and shittier. Thanks, Apple. I also really don't like Apple as a company. So, um, yeah, stay tuned for. Actually, well, okay, this is what I should talk about. Um, this kind of set the MegaTen community ablaze as well with the
Yeah, I did.
announcement. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. The only thing I see wrong with this release is the fact that it's iOS only for now. I think it's kind of stupid that it's not Android as well, or that they haven't announced Android. But a lot more people have been very, very negative about this announcement. And by very negative,
Where's the PS Vita and 3DS and PSN releases of SMT I? Why putting it on iOS? Nobody's gonna buy it. Why
this
don't
isn't
you
where
just
the Mega 10
remake
fan
it?
base is.
This
um,
is where the fan base is.
I'm so sick and tired of having to explain to people. Okay, so people reacted and they were pissed. They were furious. Why are you putting this? This is what I keep seeing. Why are you putting this on this casual piece of hardware instead of a real gaming machine? And people were flipping a shit about it. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I really would prefer if this somehow would come out on something that isn't mobile. I would love for a console or a handheld release. But you have to look at it from Atlas USA and Atlas of Japan's perspective. In fact, I had to make a
This is
video
like
on
a
this.
20-year-old game. This is like a remake of a 20-year-old game.
It's not even a remake, it's a port. It's a port of a
A
remake
remake,
from
an enhanced. It's a
it's
port of a remake of port.
okay, so this is how it goes. The Super Nintendo version came out and then there was a PS1 remake that only slightly updated stuff. And then there was a Game Boy Advance version that came out that was basically a port of the PS1 version but slightly less powerful graphically. What the iOS version is the graphics of the Game Boy Advance version with the PS1 version's music. So it's
I
kind of
see.
it's kind of like a composite port. If I recall, this is how all of the iOS versions of the SMT games are. Um, this kind of sucks actually. I know I've referenced this before. I actually do own SMT. Well, I bought and owned, I should say now, SMT2 and SMT if because they are also on iOS. But it turns out that there's a point where I had to make a new Apple account for some reason I forget, and I forgot the password for my old account, so I can't re-download those. I'm searching so hard on all of my old computers and like all my old papers and stuff to see if I can find that password again because I do have a few other apps and stuff on there that I want to get back. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed because I can't re-download those. I might just pirate them because my iPod Touch is hacked, so I can do that. Um,
Hard.
yeah. So if I recall correctly, though, the two and if translations were in fact Game Boy Advance versions with the PS1 music, from what I remember. Now, yeah, I ended up. People that are subscribed to me will probably see this, or probably have seen it already, as I should say. I had to make a video
Mm.
explaining why it's an iOS release, and people actually people responded to it quite positively. It definitely got a lot more views than the usual stuff I produce. People spread it far and wide, trying to explain to people just why Atlas USA is not wrong with putting it on iOS. Basically, what it comes down
Yeah.
to is a lot of people don't get how game development works, and a lot of people aren't very realistic with how SMT1 is going to be received by gaming as a whole, like gaming people as a whole.
And these are the very same people who haven't even played SMT1 before, so they don't really understand.
That really pisses me off too. There are so many people that are like, well, I've never played SMT1 before, but it can't be that bad or it can't be that dated. It's like, no, I've played this
You don't
game three
understand.
goddamn times. I'm telling you, it's dated. It is very hard to play through. It's, oh my God, it made me so mad because it's like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, you can't hand this game to the average person and then have them enjoy it. It's just not possible. It takes a very specific type of person to enjoy SMT1. Like I've said before,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I hate the game. I fucking love the game. It's just not for everyone, and we need to be
The
realistic.
casual gamer who's just browsing the App Store and they see SMT1, they're probably just going to download it, play it for 5 seconds, realize it's garbage, and delete it, and write a 1-star review on how
Yep.
all the demons killed them as soon as they started the game.
Yeah, exactly. This is bullshit. This game is old. It's not balanced. People are gonna. I'm gonna see a lot of those. I guarantee it. And
Yeah.
this is what I said in that video. This probably isn't going to make that big of a profit.
Yeah.
So once you factor in the fact that, well, I should say this too. Atlas USA doesn't make ports. They don't make new releases. They only localize stuff. So a lot of people are going, why don't they make a new port then, and why don't they have Virtual Console release and all this? What it basically comes down to is that requires money and time, and all that money and time
It's
probably
being put into development of other games.
that, and also if they spend a bunch of money and time on doing that, they're probably not going to get much of their money back because this game in its current form isn't going to sell very well.
Nope.
And also that would take a shit ton more time to come out. Like they would have to make a new, like if they were to do a remake, we wouldn't get it for years probably. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna link to that video below. If you haven't seen it already, you should check it out because it's about 15 minutes of me basically explaining all of Atlas's options one by one and why they can't do certain things within the game development world as it is right now. Um, and I think I do a fairly good job with the logic behind it and the reasoning given. Like I said before, a lot of people have already PM'd me saying, "Oh, thanks for explaining that," because I was kind of negative about it before, but you changed my mind. So that's basically why I made it because as much as I don't like iOS or iOS releases, Atlas kind of has their hands tied here, and there's a reason it's on iPod. So kind of sucks, but hell, we're finally getting an SMT1 official translation. Did you ever think we'd get one of those?
No.
Neither did I. Like, like we said before, completely out of left field. There was no way you could have seen this coming.
Out of orbit.
Yeah. Um, did you notice that the logo for the game? I think this is kind of funny in a like small budget type of way. The logo for the game in the West is just the Shin Megami Tensei logo with like the SMT style font or whatever, but they photoshopped it to glow red. I don't know. I think that's funny.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei.
Just photoshopped glow red. I find that pretty funny. But yeah, hopefully they do come out with an Android version in the future because a lot of people, or a lot
Want
more
an
people,
Android. A lot more people now.
yeah, a lot more people would be able to experience the game this way. Um, it- People keep bothering me about this, but people keep asking me, well, they keep telling me at least that it's crazy that I've played this game so many times because I've said this before. I'm on my third playthrough. I'm actually three-fourths of the way through my third playthrough of SMT1. And I get a lot of people that have said that we should do a Let's Play of SMT1 at some point for Cathedral of Gaming, which, for those of you who aren't aware, that's our Let's Play side channel that's kind of dead right now, but we're working on it. Um,
We could always like play the iOS version, just get an emu.
Wait, what the fuck is that? Is that a
An emulator.
for iOS?
I think there's an iOS emulator.
How would that work though with the
Uh,
touchscreen stuff?
I guess you just map it to a controller and something. I don't know.
I don't know how that would work. Uh,
That it's kind of like how the the DS emulator works.
yeah, but the problem though is like phones are multi-touch. How would you do that with just a mouse?
I have no idea. I
Yeah,
guess this is something we need to Google.
I don't think that would work. But there's still the Super. This is the other thing I want to bring up. There's still the Super Nintendo fan translated version. I'm sure Atlas has to know that that exists. There's no fucking way they don't know already that Aeon Genesis has released a patch for it. So even if you can't get the mobile version with the official translation, you can play a version of the game that is pretty much the same thing, but with a little bit of a rockier translation. Like,
The SNES version.
yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, honestly. It looks a little, it doesn't look as good, but it's close enough, and the translations probably aren't going to differ that greatly. I'm assuming the official one's going to be a little bit more cleaner, but aside from that, I'm sure they'll be pretty similar.
Yep.
Anyways, going back to what I was talking about earlier, people have asked if we're going to do a Let's Play of SMT1, and I know I said before that I don't think it would be viable, and I don't know,
Yeah.
like it would
It
take,
probably wouldn't be fun.
yeah, but I kind of want to do it. I'm such a fucking hypocrite, I know, but I kind of want to do it just because, and this is kind of my rationale and something I've really, I really have picked up on is there's just a lot of people that can't get into it, and
Yeah.
I feel like it would be nice if there would be, because there are other Let's Plays, and like I've said, there's a lot of good Let's Plays for SMT1. Uh, there was two different people on Something Awful that did Let's Plays for it, and they're both really good. And then there was also on YouTube Rido Frost did an SMT1 Let's Play. The thing is, though, what I find kind of weird is that each of these Let's Plays kind of, they're all good, but they're not the full picture. It's kind of weird, but all three of the separate Let's Plays have their strong points and things they bring up that are worth talking about, but there's not one that brings up everything or discusses everything. So I think it'd be kind of nice if there was a Let's Play that did that, and I don't know if anyone else will ever do it, so I think it would be cool if we did that. It would definitely be something that, like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna have time to record and edit and do all that during school and stuff, though, so
Yeah.
probably later
Well,
on in the year.
I will have to set aside some time, maybe like spring or fall break or something like that.
Yeah. So, like, I want to do it, and I think I'm gonna try doing it. But if it never happens, don't be angry at us because it's
Yes.
a hard game to let's play. So
Please understand.
please understand. This is our new catchphrase. Fuck featuring Dante. This is our new catchphrase. Um, yeah, like I don't know. It's definitely a challenge. It's gonna be hard to do, but we'll try. I think is what we're getting at. So yeah, stay tuned. Like I said before, Cathedral of Gaming is where we do all of our Let's Play stuff. We just finished the Shadowgate Let's Play, me and Sparky did, and then we're gonna start up new stuff soon. So stay tuned for that. And also we're playing Katamari, which is really fucking weird. Um, so yeah, actually something else that I kind of want to bring up. So a lot of people immediately when they heard SMT1 is coming to the West in iOS form, a lot of people went, "What about SMT2 and what about SMT if?"
Yeah. SMT if still has no translation of anything, fan or official.
Yep, there's the Aeon Genesis translation that's being worked on, but it's kind of in development hell. Well, I won't say that. It's just Aeon
It's in
Genesis is a
development limbo.
Aeon Genesis is a very busy team. They do a lot of stuff. They kind of work on, from what I gather, they work on whatever is the easiest thing for them to handle, and then they move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, because that's the most efficient way for them to do it, from what I understand, just as a team, or it's the
Hmm.
most time efficient way. And they have said before that there's no, if there's a project that they haven't said is canceled, it isn't canceled. It's still being worked on. Just because there isn't news doesn't mean that it's dead. It's being worked on, so just wait patiently. Um, Now, this is kind of a game changer though, because if there is an official translation, I don't know if Aeon Genesis, like, if their team would even care to finish up their translation for it, which would be kind of, it'd be kind of weird.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, because then you'd basically have a situation where the only way you can play SMT if is on iOS. Hopefully, if there is an official if translation, Aeon Genesis continues their Super Nintendo version. From what it sounds like, it sounds like they're like around the 50% mark too. So I'd be kind of surprised if they just all out,
Dropped it.
yeah, dropped it. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Atlas doesn't. This has never happened before with Atlas. I don't think Atlas has ever C&D'd anything. Um, but
Yeah, they don't really. Yeah, Atlas isn't. Yeah, they don't really care.
well, from what I understand, in an interview before, one of the localizers, Garage Door, one of the localizers talked about the Innocent Sin PSP, or no, the Innocent Sin PS1 fan translation when they were bringing over Innocent Sin PSP, and they acknowledged it, but they're like, yeah, it's PSP version's different. We don't really care about the PS1 fan translation. That's fine. They can do their own thing. So Atlas doesn't seem to really care for fan translations. Like, they don't have a problem with them, it looks like. So hopefully
Yeah.
that never comes up. Another thing people have brought up is a lot of people are saying, I don't know if we would ever get SMT2, considering a lot of bad things happened to the Abrahamic religions in that game. Um,
We probably will because it's
yeah,
Atlas.
yeah. Well, this is my way of explaining it. Even if it comes out on the iOS store, that, like, I kind of doubt that anyone that would have an issue with it would get
Or
far enough in the game.
even bother with it, or get far enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think, because let me put it this way: if word of mouth gets out that there's a game where you can kill God, spoiler alert for a decades old game, um, if news gets out, oh hey, this game lets you kill God, it doesn't matter if it came out west or not, honestly, because the game's already been out and people would flip a shit about it anyways. So I really don't see, I honestly don't see that issue really coming up ever. You know, if we do get, if we do get a west, like a localized version, I wouldn't doubt that Atlas would take steps to make sure they don't call Yahweh Yahweh. They'd probably call him like the Great Will or something. You know,
Yeah,
kind of
the
like what,
Lord.
yeah, the Lord, the Father, like what they do with SMT4, like pretty much call him God in a way without saying specifically that it's God. Um,
Yeah.
they're good at doing that. So I'm sure that'll happen, but I mean, it'd be cool if we got SMT2 and if, even if it has to be unfortunately on mobile. One thing also I want to bring up real quick before we move on. If you go on iOS right now, I'm not sure about the Google Play Store since, like I said, I don't really have an Android device. If you search Shin Megami Tensei 1, you will find a download for If and you will find a download for 2. But for some reason, SMT1 for iOS is region locked so that you can't get it on any iOS store that isn't Japan. So if you kind of want to get a sneak peek, you can go download SMT2 and If and just play those for yourself, even if you can't understand Japanese. So yeah,
Yeah.
hmm so yeah, that's about it for iOS news. Man, I'm so hyped. Like, this announcement just Oh my god, I was so excited. Just it's SMT1 officially.
That's what they want. Ah!
Yeah. Um, the fact they're even doing this is amazing,
Amazing.
and I don't think many people understand that. Probably because they haven't played SMT1 long enough or at all. It like this is such a risk. It honestly is.
Yeah.
It's so weird because we're at a point now, right, where Megami Tensei is getting bigger and they can afford to do stuff like this, and I love it.
Yeah.
Um, actually,
Hey, what if they're releasing Shin Megami Tensei over because of SMT Cross Fire Emblem? People don't know who those characters are.
oh my god, like they're like a weird Smash Brothers situation.
Yeah, it's like, who
um,
are those characters? Oh, hey, that guy looks familiar. Oh, he's in that
West
iOS portion
game.
of Megami Tensei. Oh my, I think I just hit gold.
God damn it, Katsu. Um, that would be hilarious if that was the case.
If
Um,
I learn about this character from Shin Megami Tensei on the iOS.
yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, that would be that'd be interesting. Um, actually, another thing that people have brought up too is because Megami Tensei is getting bigger, a lot of people are saying it's only a matter of time before there is like a controversy or some scandal breaks out with some.
Scandal breaks out. I think that's going to happen very soon.
Honestly, I give it a year and a half.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between now and like a year and a half from now, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of group that,
Scandal that comes up because
yeah,
someone's gonna a review for Shin Megami Tensei is gonna be like, oh hey, you get to kill God, and then people are just gonna flip their shit.
yeah, like some right wing group is going to flip a shit about it, and I don't, because then we're going to need to defend it and make a podcast thing about it, and then we're going to
Yeah,
get stupid people on our podcast
yeah,
telling us
and
it's
then there's
going to hell.
and then war is just gonna break out.
Actually, I shouldn't even say just this podcast. The Megami Tensei fan base as a whole is going to need to deal with it. It's just that
Yeah.
because we have an audience, we're
Oh
going
my
to need to deal
God,
with it
this could
too.
also be one of the very few times the Megami Tensei fan base would actually come together and defend their franchise
The one thing that brings us together
together.
is this zealous group of people that are going to flip a shit over the game. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious,
But
and it will
also
bring a tear
awful
to my eye. It
because
will bring a tear to my eye.
okay, so this is going to sound kind of douchey on my part, but I'm sure if that happens, because I'm sure when it happens, what people are going to do is they're going to go on YouTube, type in Shin Megami Tensei. As of today, this might not be the case in the future, and I kind of hope it's not in the future because this is kind of weird. If you type in Shin Megami Tensei on YouTube search, the first thing that comes up is my beginner's guide.
Not bad.
Yes. So, you know what that means? There's going to get a lot of people that don't research enough and they're going to type in Shin Megami Tensei on Google, YouTube, find my beginner's guide, find my channel. Holy shit, there's pentagrams everywhere. What the fuck is this dude? He's a Satanist. And then they're going to like give me a bunch of shit for it, and I'm not looking forward to it. Um, not to mention the fact I'm fucking Catholic, but people aren't going to
Yeah.
listen to me. Um, but yeah, like I've worried about that before. Like, what happens if like SMT, like there's big news about it, and then people find me through that because of how YouTube search works. I'm kind of worried about that in the future. You know what though? I on the YouTube search thing too. I'm kind of depressed that I come up above Atlas themselves when you type in Shin Megami Tensei. Like, I'm sorry, Atlas. If any of you are listening to this, which you probably aren't, I apologize that Google's algorithm is so fucked up that the actual game makers don't come up before the fan base does. That's just messed up. So I apologize severely for that. I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't think that'll do any good, but I feel bad about what Google fucked up on. So yeah.
Yeah.
So dealt with that. Now let's move on to emails.
Email.
Let me open up the Gmail account and let's see what we need to deal with. I think we can go for quite a few emails.
Yes.
Think we have it in us today. It's like three in the afternoon here. We're hyped. We're full of energy. All right. So this is from Paul. He's asking a tough question. Paul's asking, "What is your favorite cereal?"
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
This is where friendships die.
This is the true MegaTen fan base war.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Okay, I have a tie. I say this a lot for
tie.
like favorite emails, but I'm not very decisive. Um, Golden Grams and Frosted Flakes will forever be tied for my favorite cereal because that shit's delicious.
I like Fruity Pebbles and Crunch Berries.
Okay, oh man, Fruity Pebbles are disgusting in my opinion, but if you like
I
them,
love. Yeah.
I think that shit is nasty. But okay, okay, Katsu. Maybe
All right.
maybe one day we'll find a neutral option.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul, for tearing our friendship apart for cereal.
Yeah.
Oh man, podcast over.
Well, bye.
Okay, so this is from Justin. She says, "Hey dudes, I've played Persona 3, Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden, but I haven't played a real hardcore SMT game yet, and was wondering if Raidou was a good entry. Also, I'm a little tight on money. I'm not sure what I should get. Devil Survivor Overclocked, Devil Survivor 2, or Raidou. Thanks in advance and keep up the great work." Well,
Persona 3 is pretty hardcore.
yeah, I actually wanted to say that. Like, if you've beaten Persona 3, you have a fairly good taste for MegaTen as a whole. Like, you can probably
Yeah.
move on to anything at that point. Um, so about Raidou though, let's tackle that first.
Raidou it doesn't play like any of the other MegaTen games.
Yes, it's very different. It's an action RPG. I really don't like the battle system. The story is okay. I've heard the story really picks up towards the final few chapters, and I've heard so this is what I've heard with Raidou. I heard that the story is just amazing towards the end of the game. The problem is like I'm like halfway through it and I've been halfway through it for a while. I have little to no drive to continue playing the game. I don't really care for the story or the characters or the battle system. It's just kind of when I play Raidou 1, I feel like I'm playing it for the sake of playing a video game, if that makes sense. Like I'm not hating it. I'm not enjoying it. I'm just kind of there, if that makes sense. Like every once in a while, I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool what they did there, or oh, I don't really care for what they did there. But it's like such an average experience throughout. But I keep getting people telling me just wait till the end, just wait till the end. But I'm finding it kind of hard to get to the end just because it is so average to play through, and it's such a weird feeling. It's kind of hard to explain until you actually play it. Um, I don't know, Katsu, have you played Raidou yet?
No, and I probably don't have any attention to because it doesn't really interest me that much.
Not one for action RPGs, or just not one for Raidou.
Just not one for the Raidou games.
Yeah, I can see that. I heard Raidou 2 is a lot better, in terms of battle system stuff. So I kind of want to beat 1 just so I can play 2. I've had a lot of people say that you don't even need to really play Raidou 1 to play 2. I kind of want to though because it is a direct sequel. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of our thoughts on Raidou. I mean, there's definitely I've met a lot of people that like the game a lot more than I do. So I'll throw that out there. It might just be a case where it's not a game for me. That happens. Case in point, a lot of people love Metroid. I've never cared for Metroid. I think everyone has certain games that they just don't connect with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you have any Katsu like games that everyone loves except for you?
A lot of Western titles don't really connect with me.
Like FPSs or just like Western titles as a whole?
Just Western titles of whole. Like I played God of War 1, but I never really connected with it. I played Jag. I played all of the Jag games, but only the first Jak and Daxter game I really liked. I didn't really like the rest of them.
That's because after
Same
2 he
thing.
got dark and edgy.
Then Ratchet and Clank, I only liked the first game. It seems like I only cared about the first of those franchises and never really gave two shits about the rest of the series.
That's funny. Um, yeah, so like I said, everyone has their own thing. I definitely look up a lot more reviews of Raidou. So moving on to the second part of the question, which one to get? Devil Survivor Overclock, Devil Survivor 2, or Raidou 1? So I actually responded to this person just because I knew it would be a few weeks till we got to their question, and what I said was Devil Survivor Overclocked simply because it is such a great gateway into the rest of the Megami Tensei franchise because it is like it is the MegaTen archetype story. It basically is SMT1, but then they throw in this weird like tournament thing in the middle.
Yeah. It's SMT1 before everything went,
Super bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of why I always recommend Devil Survivor Overclocked. A lot of people seem to have this impression. Actually, this I haven't gotten this as much, but I actually do on my channel have a Devil Survivor Overclocked review, and I gave the game a 7 out of 10, and people thought that was a bad score for some reason. Except 7, in my opinion, at least. I don't know. The review systems kind of vary from person to person. In my opinion, 7 out of 10 is good, but not great, and that's kind of how I feel Overclocked is. I think it's a fantastic first entry, but overall, as a Megami Tensei game as a whole, like
It's
there's
pretty.
a lot more I like better.
Yeah.
Um, there's definitely a lot of people that love it though. Like I said, there's definitely a lot of people that Overclocked is their favorite game. So
Yes. Donkey Survivor Overclocked.
oh man, I was actually talking on the DDSNet Skype group yesterday. I decided I'm gonna rewrite the version of the draft I have for that right now, and I decided I'm gonna add in a plot point where the demon apocalypse occurred because SMT4 was released in PAL regions.
Oh,
So
yes, not
so
bad.
so Shrek has to go and stop the PAL release of SMT4 from ever happening to stop the demonic invasion. And that's the reason SMT4 never came out in PAL regions yet.
Shrek the hero. Oh man.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So, I don't know. How do you think, compared to other Megami Tensei games, where do you think Overclocked sits?
Um, thinking. I feel like it's one of the weaker of the games. I'm not. It's. Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of the weaker games. There are definitely much better titles in the franchise, but there are certainly a lot worse titles in the franchise.
Well, yeah, that's what I always say. Like, it's not the best, but that doesn't mean it's bad. You know, like
Yeah.
even weaker entries of Megami Tensei are still good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely a fun game. It's just that this is my take on it, and this could be because I played Devil Survivor 2 before 1. How I feel about Devil Survivor 1 is this. They had a battle system that they never really tried before, and Atlas hadn't made a strategy RPG since Majin Tensei way back in the 90s. So it took some getting used to for them to get the battle system down. And also, this is kind of, I guess, a matter of opinion, but I didn't really care for any of the characters in Devil Survivor except for Naoya, Haru, and kind of Etsuro. Like those were the
Yeah.
3 characters I really attached to.
I only really cared about Haru.
Haru
I
was
couldn't
great.
care less about Yuzu or anybody else.
Uh,
Just Haru.
Haru is so good. She's one of the best written characters in MegaTen as a whole, in my opinion. Just because
Yeah.
her character arc is so strong. Um, yeah. So, like I said before, we're not trying to shit on Overclocked. It's just that it's not as good as other SMT games, in our opinion. Feel free to disagree with us, of course. Like that's definitely a matter of opinion, but as far as we think, that's just our opinion. Um, So yeah, we're gonna recommend, I guess, Overclocked then for first SMT. I guess you could pick up Devil Survivor 2, but with Break Record coming out,
Yeah.
like
I suggest holding that until Break Record comes out.
I think I talked about this last episode or a few episodes ago. It's kind of weird because we don't know when we're gonna get Break Record. So like, if you had
We know it's coming out in the States, obviously, but we don't know when it's coming
when,
out in Japan.
yeah, like it. We don't have a set release date for that. So what I say for Devil Survivor 2 is this: if you have $20 that you're not specifically attached to and you want to play a game that you don't mind playing later down the line, if you're a completionist, go ahead and just buy it now, play through it once or twice or whatever, and then wait for the 3DS version. If you really want to just wait, um, acknowledge that it'll probably be a year or two, and then just wait for Break Record to come out in North America. So that's my views on it. Uh, Figure out from there. It kind of depends on the person. If you're tight on money, I say just get Overclocked for now. Wait for Break Record when you have more money or when it comes out. Rido 1, look into more, I'd say. Um, yeah, see, this is the thing. It's kind of hard to recommend SMT to people because some, like, opinions are very diverse on a lot of them, such as Overclocked or Rido.
Yeah.
So I think those two games specifically, there's a lot of split between their quality. I see a lot of people saying that Overclocked is only average. I don't know. I thought it was good, just like we said before for the 100th time. Not as strong as other SMTs. So yeah, thanks a lot, Justin. Hoped we could help. Hopefully we didn't confuse you more. So yeah, I really really hope that you do get into the mainline stuff, and you know that if you find that you only like Persona, then keep doing that. I know there are some people that say you're terrible for not liking anything that's not Persona, but if those are the only games you like, then that's just how
That's
it is.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
there's so many people that think, oh, you played one series, now you need to buy all of the franchise, and it's like, no, just let people play what they want to play. God damn it. So, um, yeah. So have fun with that. Ooh, so this is from Dennis, and he says he really likes the podcast. He came into SMT and Atlas stuff at Persona 3, though he was always intrigued by the box art of other games, especially Digital Devil Saga, as a young teen. Uh, he says he created a tattoo of oh shoot, what's this guy's name? I think it's Stonka. It's
Stonka.
the bull demon with the one eye.
Oh. Oh, him.
Yeah. And then also he has a question. What are we hoping for most in Persona 5? Honestly, just a new cast of characters to enjoy. That's all.
More
Honestly,
waifus.
that
More waifus.
yeah. Um,
That's what everyone wants at the end of the day. More waifus.
you
More
expose
waifus to art. More waifus to argue over.
Hopefully, my
Oh,
beloved waifu Chi continues existing within the Persona universe. Um, God, I love that video.
man.
Yeah, honestly, just I want to experience and get attached to a whole new cast of characters. That's all I really care about in Persona 5.
Yeah.
Even Persona 4, a lot of people have said the story isn't that great, but it's worth playing because the characters are just so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's honestly all I'm hoping for. I'm gonna have a picture of this Stonka
Okay.
painting tattoo thing. Um, calls it a tattoo, but it looks like this little painting thing. Um, all right, so yeah, I'm going to on to the next email now. So thanks a lot, Dennis.
Yes. Thanks.
So Jack says, "Hello, I have a theory that the magic is really PSI and SMT4 because you use chakra to refill them, which the third eye of chakra is what you use for PSI. So his question is, if we could learn any form of PSI to control an element, what would we learn first? Such as fire, pyrokinesis, ice, cryokinesis, um, time, chronokinesis, etc., etc." It says it's fine if we don't know the specific name.
I'd use time. I have all the time in the world to just sit around and just play Fire Emblem.
So I'm gonna say this. I think just I think that's the name for it, or whatever the dude from Akira has. um, no, I've always loved just that sort of like psychic ability to just like have shit float around and stuff. Like
Yeah.
ever since Akira, I've always kind of been fascinated by that concept of just holy shit, you can lift stuff with your mind. Like it's so simple, yet it's so cool at the same time. And also the movie Chronicle, which actually was inspired by Akira, so this makes sense, has one of the most amazing psychic fight scenes ever, where these two teenagers are just flying around a city and they're fucking shit up and they're being psychic, and it's great. People go see Chronicle; it's a great movie. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to say that, just being able to lift things with my mind, float them around and throw them and shit. So yeah, thanks a lot, Jack.
All right.
Let's move on to the next email. So this is from Decarabia, who is actually one of the people that goes on DDSnet. She's pretty cool. I just call her Deck. So
Okay.
Deck asks, I'm dumb and I've only listened to one episode, so if my thing somehow happens to be a repeat, I apologize in advance. It's all good. Actually, this question is not a repeat, so Deck asks, if you somehow ingested a red and became a demon, which would you prefer?
Hmm. I would rather be a pixie. No.
Okay.
Let's see. What demon would I be? Can I be Kuch Lane and call it a day?
I was gonna say something like that, or like Tamlin or something, someone humanish,
Yeah,
or
someone
like
humanish.
I could get by and not be seen weirdly. Um, yes, probably something like that, or maybe like Thor, something like that. Uh, Something where I could interact and I look humanish in nature. That that's honestly it. Because
Yes.
as fun as it would be to be like Lucifer or something, like kind of stand out. I don't think you could go back to a
Yeah,
normal.
you stand out too much.
You can't go back to a normal life after that, especially if like you're something like slime
Yeah.
or like shit. What are other
Or
demons?
you're just some hooligan.
Yeah, or
You're just some
like
hooligan.
those elephant thingies. There are various elephant thingies I know,
Oh
but
man.
any of those, um, like Kodama or
You can never go
something.
back. You can never go. You can never have a normal life if you're Mara.
I don't know how life would be if I turned into Amara. I'd be scared. I think the government would have to intervene at that point.
Yeah. That intervene and capture you and to dissect you for science.
Oh, uh, thanks a lot, Deck. Um, so this is from Rush Hour Duck, and he asks that
Okay.
have either of you had a game or games that you really liked, but for one reason or another ended up hating? Uh, and he says, Rasen, you are forbidden of speaking about Call of Duty, so don't mention that shit, or I'll cut you with words, cracka.
Oh.
And then he says, also, congrats on the new job, Ross. About that, so actually, this is kind of a long story, but it seems like that's not going to happen.
Oh.
Well, it's actually like that business doesn't seem to be very
Oh, it's shady.
a little bit. Well, they're being kind of pushy with like the university because basically what they wanted to do is they wanted like to have me kind of start working there, and then that would open up like a program between that business and our university.
Hmm.
And apparently like they've kind of been really pushy with the higher ups in the university and kind of been assholes with that. So there's very little chance of it going through now just because on their end they've been kind of douchey and pushy. It honestly seems like they're I know you can say this for a lot of apprenticeships and internships or whatever, but it really seems like they're just doing this for cheap labor. But they expect a lot of like students to do work that they don't like that they expect them to have skills that they don't have yet, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like they're demanding too much and they're being very pushy with it and very unprofessional, so it doesn't look like it's gonna go through. Um, I'm still fine though. I mean, I still have my old job. I haven't quit yet or anything, so kind of a bummer, but I'm still, according to my professor, I'm still on top of the list in case another program ever comes up. So even if it has to wait till next year, I'm sure eventually I'll have an opportunity to do so. So I'm still fine. Um, but I know a few people have asked about that. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like this one will work out. But I mean, I would rather work for a legitimate business than something like this. You know what I mean? So
Then some shady. Yeah.
yeah, some shady operation that, and also they're really bad with getting back emails. Like I'll I'll respond to them like within a couple hours every time they email me, but then it takes them about 8 days to get back to me. It's not very good. Um, we're honestly like there's very little chance of this working out anymore simply because they're not pulling through on their end. So that kind of sucks. Anyways, he says he asks if it's okay to call me Ross. Um, sure, go for it.
Okay.
Um, it says because I would love it if you were called Ross because it reminds it reminds him of Ra's al Ghul. Um, so yeah, He says ciao. So, oh, Raz Al Ghul. That's actually funny because my Skype avatar right now is Kawaii Bane, which I'm gonna have a picture of right now. Because I am the Cathedral of Shadows. Sorry, I had to say that. Yeah.
Don't ever do that again.
You merely play Megami Tensei. I was born in it, molded by it.
No.
Did I kill you? Okay, no, you're alive.
Yes.
Raz Al
No,
Ghul
I'm
is.
not alive. Didn't I tell you a few yesterday I died?
Oh yeah, that's right. That pounding headache you had.
Yeah.
That's a Bruce Willis
So,
twist for the end of this episode. Katsu's been dead the entire time.
yeah. Turns out yesterday that I died, and this is the afterlife.
What was the situation with that again? Like you hit your head or something?
No, I was on my way to the store, and after I crossed the street, I got a really splitting headache. It leads me to believe that I must have got hit by a car, and I just died instantly, and my head is still hurting from the impact
Correct me if I'm wrong.
in the
Isn't
afterlife.
correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the plot of Yu Yu Hakusho? I haven't seen that
Hmm.
since I was a kid, but it
I
sounds
haven't seen
awfully
that stuff
familiar.
kid either. Maybe it might be.
Because didn't
I
he
don't.
die because he got hit by a car or something? I don't know.
Yeah, he got hit by a car, and then he had to like nurture this egg so he can come back to life. I really don't remember.
What the fuck?
Maybe,
Whatever.
maybe I should like find some DVDs or something,
Uh,
DVD rips online and watch it
I
again.
forgot about that show. Anyways, now to actually answer his question, a game that we really liked, but then for one reason or another ended up hating. Ah,
Hmm.
I can't.
Oh. Have you ever heard of the Harvest Moon franchise?
Yes.
So there was this game for the PS2 called Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life Special Edition. It was a supposed and an alleged enhanced port of the GameCube one, featuring new bright option and you get to have a daughter child and all that stuff. So anyway, I played through that. I enjoyed it, but I ended up hating it because the frame rate was completely screwed over in that game. On the GameCube version, it ran like 60 frames a second, but on the PS2 version, it ran like 15 frames.
Um, here's one actually. So Saints Row the Third. I was a huge Saints Row 2 fan. Um, the intro to Saints Row the Third is amazing. Like it's really intense. It's awesome. And then okay, so I should say this first. Saints Row 2 was actually I played Saints Row 2 in a point in my life where I was kind of getting fed up with modern gaming just because everything that was coming out was kind of garbage in my eyes. And then I played Saints Row 2 and then I kind of remembered games are supposed to be fun. Like that game was just fun incarnate. But also, not only was it fun and super fun, the game had a very nice pacing to it where it would be fun all the way throughout, but then something really awesome would happen and be like, "Oh my god, this is awesome. This is amazing." And then it would kind of like level out again. So like there kept being these spikes in awesomeness, and they just paced it so well and so perfectly. It might be one of the best paced games gameplay wise that I've ever played. I'm gonna throw that out there. Um, I just loved it. And then Saints Row the Third came along, and the first section of that game is amazing. Like Kanye West's Power plays while you're skydiving into this penthouse, and you basically shoot the entire thing up. And I loved it. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And then like the game's pacing isn't very good. I'll say that. They just keep having you do awesome shit, but it's like I'm doing so much awesome shit that I don't even care anymore because it's like the game gives you so much cool stuff to do that it doesn't feel cool anymore. Like it's just average.
It's
It's
just whatever.
yeah. And also, this may sound weird, but Saints Row 2's plot actually had some pretty good moments. There's a few points where people die and you actually feel legitimately sad, which is kind of hard to do in a Grand Theft Auto clone, because that's honestly what Saints Row is. It's a Grand Theft Auto clone. Um, yeah, so Saints Row the Third's plot kind of dropped the ball, which I know is going to sound really stupid to some people, but two actually had a surprisingly well done plot. So I'm gonna go with Saints Row the Third.
Okay.
Want to go one more?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Markle, and he says he is no longer a puny warrior, but now Orochi. He will not change the name of the email, but but he says to refer to him as Orochi. So I guess Markle is now Orochi. They said, "What's your favorite
Okay.
of the Law, Chaos, and Neutral characters?" He says some of his favorites are Amane, Walter, and Jin. And then he says, "Here's some of his art as a bonus to the email." So I'll have the art on the screen right now. Okay, so favorite Law, Neutral, Chaos characters. Chaos Hero for Chaos, obviously, and by that I mean Chaos Hero from SMT I. He's just a great character. For Neutral, Isabeau, I guess. And for Law,
Hmm.
I don't know for Law. Um, there's not really like one Law. Well, I guess Amane, yeah. I'd have to go with Amane. Actually, no, Ronaldo. I know people argue if Ronaldo is Chaos or
Ronaldo.
Law. Yeah, I think he's.
Ronaldo is definitely.
Yeah, that's what I always said too. He's lawful. Um, he riots, but he's lawful. Like that's kind of the thing with his character. He's kind of a hypocrite. He supports law, but he does it in a very chaotic way. Same way with Yamato.
Yamato. He supports chaos, but he does it in a very orderly way.
Yeah, exactly. He wants the government to be chaotic, um, or the government to support chaos. That's basically like that's kind of the thing with their characters. They're hypocrites. That's what makes them so interesting. So yeah, I really like
Anyway,
Ronaldo too. Anyways, Katsu, your list.
let's see. For chaos, I have to go with spoilers. Devil Survivor 2 spoilers. The Anguish one. He's definitely my favorite chaos character.
He's great.
And for neutral, I have to go with what would I go with for neutral? There aren't that many neutral characters that I enjoy. Well, there's Haru.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's see. Haru, Anguish 1, and for Law, I'll go with the cast of Persona 3. I'll just group them all together because they all represent law.
Yeah, sure. You can go with that. All right, I think that wraps it up. Thanks a lot, Orochi. See what I did
Yes.
there? Not Markle anymore. It's Orochi apparently.
Yes.
So yeah, we did work. Um, yep, looks like that's it. So yeah, see you guys.
Bye.
You can't tell up from down. Having so much fun. We forget to check when this crossroads taking us. But hey, here we come. This carousel spins us round so much. Sometimes you don't know shoot.
Gather demons and come again.